So in this video, I want to show you how to use QGIS to georeference a floor plan. And the floor plan is from PDF. And so this is related to one of my labs. We're going to go to BCIT facilities and download a floor plan for a particular building on campus. My demo is going to be for SW3 floor 2. What we're going to find out is that these floor plans are not perfect at all. So I have a QGIS open in that, and in my project home folder, you'll see I've been busy trying different combinations, different transformation techniques and resampling methods and that. And so where I got into a bind is that part of the floor plan is off, definitely off in that. But first what we'll do is I'm going to load the ortho. I have the ortho as a URL, but I saved that as a QGIS layer file. So I'll put that on our out drive to share with you guys. I'm just going to double click that and add it, and I'll have my ortho tiles. And I've made some spatial bookmarks just to speed up this demo. So what we're dealing with is I want to georeference a floor plan based on this building, or use this building to georeference it. Okay. Now one thing that got picked up is that the ortho is in UTM zone 10, so 26910 down here at the bottom in that. And so the floor plan I want to bring in is also in my project folder. So the folder where this QGIS file is stored. And it's this PDF here. And so I was kind of like surprised when I saw the PDF, because I was like, it's not really a raster, but it said I can handle it and that sort of thing. So in that. So this is kind of interesting. The one drawback to doing it this way is that we can't affect the DPI. So I think the DPI defaults to 300 DPI, which might be okay for our purposes in that. And so what I'll do is we'll just get into the under the raster tool. There's a georeferencer. Okay, so it didn't pop, which is fantastic. So where is it? So sometimes, depending how you close it, this could be a bug in that we have to turn it back on, and it's over here on my other screen. So I'm going to actually slide it over. So there's nothing loaded into it yet. It'd be great if you could just drag and drop these things over. But I'm going to add a raster in that, and it defaulted to this directory, which is this one here. And I'm going to, you can see all the different runs I've been doing. I'm going to pick the PDF and open it. So we'll display it in the georeferencer for me. And so it loaded a points file, but I'm going to actually clear all of these out if I can. So it's great if you have dual screens. It makes this a lot easier. I'll just have to keep sliding it back and forth. It might be slightly annoying in that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete off these existing points that I've been testing. I actually found that trying to georeference the offices was a problem, and that is where I ran into problems. So there's something wrong in the floor plan for this particular building in this causeway connector. In that, I'm trying to get them all off, almost all gone. Okay, you probably have one more down at the bottom here. In that, where are you, Mr. Little Red? There he is in the corner. We'll get rid of him. We'll bring him back later, but I just found that there are certain series of points worked way better. There's definitely some funky business happening in this area. And that's what you'll notice. And the thing is, to be efficient at georeferencing is, when do you get that gut feeling and say, okay, there's something wrong, there's only so much I can do in that. And so what I'm shooting for is if I can get these rooms along here kind of set in the right spot, then I'll be happy. And there's definitely something going on with the offices in that. So the idea is that you have to go back and forth between the this PDF in that and places on the map. But first I'm going to set up some settings. Under settings or transformation settings, I'll bring that GUI over. There's a whole bunch of different types, right? Linear is kind of quick, but you can't automate it, which means you can't get a GDAL translate script from it in that. And so thin plate spline does an okay job in that. And then there's a bunch of resampling techniques. I'm just going to go nearest neighbor. Set the target system reference. right? So I've set to 26910 to match my ortho in that. And I'm going to call this, I'll call it demo version 1 in that. And I'm actually demo version 1, but I'm going to put in that I'm using thin plate spline. So thin plate spline along with nearest neighbor. So I'm going to name the file that way just so that I can, when I see it, okay, I know what technique I use to bring this across. Again, there is no DPI setting here that you probably saw me do in other videos. And once we apply it, then we want to load it in QGIS as well. So I'm going to go OK to that to set that up. And now I got to start collecting points. Now, as I slide over here, the first point I'm going to do, and again I use some spatial bookmarks for this, was this northwest corner. So I'll just zoom out a bit. Is this connector to SW2, I guess? And so I want that post right in there. That's the one I want. So, and I'm going to try to go, I guess, northwest corner of that post. So on that post, I'm going to try to find that in the diagram. So I'm going to slide this across. So where's that post in this diagram? That's that causeway, but it's cut off. There's that post, right? That support beam. So I'm going to add a point here, and I'm going to click, right? Right about there we'll go. And then a little dialog popped up. I'll get it over here. I'll get it from the map canvas. Now I need to slide this out of the way, and I will click here. Okay, and I'll go OK. In that, and I should have when I bring this back, I've got these little red dots, and it's also showing me the dots over here as well. I'm going to go to the next place that I liked, was this post in here. So this little notch where the offices are, this little notch, I'm going to go on this post as well. So I need to slide over. There we go. Zoom out. So it's this notch, that post right there. Okay. So the notch and the post, notch and that post, right? So I'll click on here. This is add a point. Might zoom in a little bit. From the map, got to slide this out of the way. Again, if you have a dual screen, way easier. Where to go, roughly. How big is that post? I might come in a little bit, right about there. Go OK. So I'm going to have 2 points in that. Right, and it's calculating residuals, right? They're nice and low. You don't want them too high, but depending on the transformation technique you use, you get different numbers in that. And so my next spatial bookmark is this post on the other side of the notch. Might be overkill, but this is where I had like a problem area of it not quite doing what I wanted. So again, I'm going for this post here. This notch, this post. It's always about finding, good things on your plan that you can see in the ortho. So I'm going to click there, slide it across, and it's going to be from the map canvas right about there. I'm going to go OK, and I'll slide this back over. Little red dot there. Some low numbers. I like that. That's good. So we'll go to my next spot, which will be probably the corner of this building here, or maybe in on this post. The posts are a little bit easier to see sometimes. So I think I will pick the post in that. And so I got to find the same spot on the plan. And I'll just pan along. So as much as I would like to do the corner, there's a bunch of stuff on the plan that's causing a problem. So that post is pretty distinct. So I will use the post that's close to the corner. So I'm going to add another point. Click it there, slide this out of the way, and that's going to be that post there, right? So where's that post really? They're going to be probably a couple pixels off, right? Okay, and that. So that's that post there, and it'll show up here. That's that post there. Okay. Now I'm going to pick some other points, probably this corner here. This is a pretty good corner, but there's problems. This corner is a little bit better in that. but I'll just follow my southwest one. So that is that corner of that roof, right? And we'll bring it across. That's the corner of the roof here. So I'm going to click there from the map canvas. I need to slide this over. Boom, right there. Go OK. Slide this back. Right, numbers are staying kind of low, which is what I want in that. And so I'll just go to the next bookmark. This notch corner in here. So this is where we typically come out at SW3 to get to, I guess, SW6, SW9. In that little exit here, so that little notch in the corner is what I'm after. Got to find it on my floor plan. And that's that notch right about there. Ooh, I'm going to have to guess at this one. So right about maybe there. I think I'm still on add, yeah. From the map, gonna slide this. Again, if you have dual screen, much better experience. Go OK. Now, did I blow any numbers up here? They staying pretty low. Some of them are 0. Some of them are pretty small. Okay. I'm kind of okay with this. And probably my last one will be the corner of the building, right? So the SW3, the corner of that building there. Got to find it on my map or a floor plan. Zoom out. It's going to be this guy right about here. Not too bad. It's a clean corner, so I'll use it. And that, again, it's always about trying to find something on the floor plan that is clean and matches something that you can easily see on the ortho. Kind of easily see. Click it. Go OK. So we'll take a look at now these numbers are staying pretty low. So I'm pretty happy about that. Okay. And again, we're going to, once we do this, we're going to find that, hey, it's not perfect, but that's because I'm pretty sure that the numbers they're using for the office sizes doesn't reflect what's really on the ground. There's no way I could squeeze them in without causing some really strange warping happening in this section here. I'm just going to double check my settings that it is this thin plate spline nearest neighbor, right? And that. Just know when you use a different technique, you get slightly different numbers, so that can throw you off in terms of your residuals. It all looks good. TPSN version 1 demo. Okay, this is good. But the problem with doing this is that you will be stuck with 200 DPI. There is a thing where you can generate the GDAL script, which will give you the GDAL translate command, and then you could add in the PDF thing to bump up the resolution in that. But we're just going to run it here, see what happens. So we'll just fire that off. I just want to actually, maybe I'll save my points. Never heard save my points, and I'm going to save it as I called it, I guess, demo. Demo version 1 dot points. And I'll just play it. It's pretty fast because, again, it's just a 300 DPI version. And it threw it into the building. Well, it looks like we're a little off, but that's okay. I'll just go to there, properties, and again, that went off screen. I got to try to grab that if it will let me. Yes. And I was going to set the transparency to 50%, maybe 40 in that. Well, it's not too bad. Look at that. And then I just want to look at how these rooms came in, right? Seem okay. Some funkiness happening there. In that, these classrooms are lining up nice. Like I said, there is a problem with the offices, right? That they got shifted somehow, or they're not as big. They're not as big as the facilities thinks they are. In that. That little roof part lines up well. This seems to be lining up on the back wall okay. Not sure, it's a little suspect about what's going on here in that. But these seem to be lining up well, and I'm happy with that. And this is not a bad thing to see. For me to get this perfect, it just wasn't working. You'd get this big deformation in this area here trying to squeeze these in, which just tells me that either the ortho is wrong or the plan is wrong, right? And I really think the floor plans are wrong in this little building here. They're off by a bit in that. But that's enough. I mean, I would have to do this separately to squeeze them in. If I can remember which one it was, because I got a few of them. It might have been my version 7, where I tried to squeeze that in and it looked horrible. I'll look at bring up 7 and 8 real quick. No, there. There's the one. So that's when I tried to squeeze those in there. And to do that, I'll make this transparent again. Right. So I'm getting, technically I'm squeezing the office in, but it started bowing all these different areas, because this tells you when stuff like this happens, there's just something wrong in the data, right? Trying to get things to line up. And when I just said, okay, let the rooms, classrooms and labs land where they're supposed to, and let the office land, whatever they say, and don't try to fit it, right? Then it worked out better, right? If I just accept the reality that the offices probably aren't right? The classrooms look good in that, but yeah, the offices are off, and that's just real world data, right? You have to expect that. And the thing is, this is probably overkill on the points. If it's really good data, right, and you're in a flat area, 3 points is usually enough. And if you find yourself putting way too many points in, there's something going on, right? And so once I just freed this up to land wherever it falls, then everything else was snapping into place much better. And it's always a compromise. But that's it for now. Good luck georeferencing.